This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Previously on Back to the Story.
Well, it's about damn time. Looks like you need a little help.
You see a figure beginning to emerge from the head of the storm. Massive, muscular, wearing armor, holding a javelin made out of lightning. 4 wings spread aloft like sails as it moves at the point of the storm, seemingly leading it towards you as it gets closer. So you're currently at the edge and beginning to fall. You haven't lost sight of the top of this pillar.
Is he still grabbed onto me, or what?
Yeah, he's grappled to you.
Okay.
But you're still like eye level as the pillar is beginning to go forward and you're beginning to fall. That will bring us up to you.
Okay.
So I'll say you have a reaction if you have something or want to try to grab something or anything like that.
If it's my turn, I'll just use my action.
Okay.
I cast fly on myself.
Okay. So he's pulling you off the edge, and then just as you begin to fall, you cast fly as you suddenly come to a stop. He's still grappled onto you, basically. So he's hanging on to you. What do you do next?
I'm going to just float out so that he has no way of grabbing onto the edge soon. And I'm just going to chill there as I'm going to move my little head here with my bonus action. And that's my turn.
Okay, so you're flying above this dwarf who kind of have his eyes closed. Like this is it. He's going to sacrifice himself to take you down. Maybe his friends will take out as many as they can. Instead, he opens one eye up, looking around, and sees you're flying. That will bring us up to Ball. As you take 3 points of poison damage at the start of your turn, what would you like to do?
Ball is going to try to have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Great. Well, I just used every single spell I have, so I don't really have much option. I'm going to try to attack using my Phoenix Blade and my Maul. So I'll attack with disadvantage. 15. Does that hit?
That will just miss. He doesn't have a shield anymore, but he's still wearing heavy armor. You slam into him, but he kind of shoulders it off.
So while he's shouldering off my strike, I'm just going to spit fire in his eyes. So it's a DC 12.
Okay. Nope on him.
So 11 fire damage. That's my bonus action.
Okay. And so you burn, or you release this burn, and you suddenly hear the clang of heavy metal upon stone.
I don't know how much move speed I have. It would normally be 25, which is halved, but then I don't know how the intellect stuff works.
So your score is 8, right?
Correct.
So 24, 20, half, so you have 10. So you have 10 feet of movement.
Well, moving 10 feet this way to get out of the fog cloud, does that incur an attack of opportunity?
Doesn't appear so.
Okay. All right, so I'll move there to get
as you step
totally
over the body
of just out of the poison.
Okay. As you step over the body of the Umbach you just brought down with flames, hearing clanking just in front of you. So that brings us up to Melly. I know we're running past our break, but I sense an ending coming soon. So Melly, it is up to you. You see Ball trudge into the fog cloud.
I asked if I knew that he was going after an enemy in the fog cloud.
You would still know there's an enemy over there. You can't see them, but you would know they were over there.
If I sort of charge sort of the same way he went, would I run into him, I guess?
So, yeah, that's 30 of your 60 feet would run into the back of Ball.
And then if I can, I think I have enough movement if I sort of go around him, and then, so if I stood like there and then sort of did burning hands in that general direction to see if I could hit somebody.
You certainly could. Just tell me where you're doing it from and what direction.
So the problem is I actually do know where the enemy is, so I don't want to metagame because Melly wouldn't know. But I don't know how to figure out how she'd do that without knowing.
Is Melly close enough that she can kind of see some outline of a figure?
It's mechanically heavily obscured, so you're all effectively blinded. Really, you basically ran into Ball, So you would know you would at least, if you did it from there, you might hit ball.
Then I will try and specifically aim it so I do it straight past ball, but don't hit him.
How will this roll a perception check? And we'll do it that way.
That's a 16?
And was that at disadvantage?
Oh, no. That's better, so still 16.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll the damage. And that's the dex save?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's a 10.
It failed.
It takes
10 points of damage.
Okay. So Millie, as you charge into the fog, guessing your best guess where they were, you release your hands as the flames rush out in that direction. As the flames subside and you're kind of looking, listening, can't see anything, there's a loud clank of something hitting the ground. Millie, is there anything else for you?
No, that's okay.
Okay. At this point, landing to the side, you see a tall figure, maybe 12, 13 feet, elongated, ropey muscles of toned bluish green, hair shaven or not there at all. A figure in this sort of loose, scaled armor with 4 wings, dark, steps and begins to stride towards you. Yep, speaking in Celestial once more. Lay down your weapons or die. As she pulls up the javelin of lightning, holds it over her shoulders, preparing to throw it towards you. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
Bal, she says, throw down your weapons. Because he's the only one who has any. Because the rest of us have been disarmed a long time ago. And I will just hold up my chained hands. Because, you know.
Such sass. She sees that and just shoots you with lightning. Jesus Christ. Alright, what else do you do, Vesper? Is that it?
That will do me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm surrendering, looking non-threatening.
That'll bring us up to Amson.
Amson's going to drop Fog Cloud.
Okay.
Expecting people to be there, but he sees that they are currently crushed underneath Ball's feet. Okay. He's going to walk up to Vesper and just place a hand on her and see the guest celestial person be like, oh, is that a Storm Warden?
And that'll bring us up to Ellery.
I hear what Vesper just said. I'm looking at this person. Where did she land exactly?
On the right side of the map.
Just on the right side of the map.
Yeah.
So I'm going to slowly start moving around this pillar, around this circle towards her. And I am going to grab my locket and hold it up to show her the symbol on it.
Okay.
And then just stand where I am.
She looks down at it, but still has the javelin of lightning prepared. That brings us up to the one on top of you, George. Drops his hammer down, kind of struggling to maintain onto you. Draws a dagger and is going to try to bury it into your stomach. That is a 16.
I'm going to let it hit me.
Okay.
And then I will use my repulsion shield because the condition also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach of the grapple. So he is pushed 10 or 15 feet away.
Okay.
With this shockwave bursting out of my shield.
So as he comes down towards your stomach, you don't even move as it slides in. You grit your teeth as you take 6 points of piercing damage, and there's a sudden thunderous noise as he is slung outward and then begins to fall. Head over heels down into that swirling energy before disappearing in it.
How much damage did I take?
6. Okay. 4 plus 2, 6.
And then concentration, which was the only thing. I'm good. I have advantage, and I rolled a 25.
Okay. At this point, we may be able to come out of initiative order unless there's someone that wants to act immediately, or if there's anyone that's unconscious, which I don't think that's the case. I think everyone's basically safe at this point.
The only thing I'm going to do as I come down, I'm going to pull one of the scrolls off of my the belt that goes across my chest and tap it and cast Comprehend Languages as I'm floating down.
As you float down. Okay. So with no one in immediate damage or any immediate danger currently that we need to resolve, we will take us out of initiative order as George, you float down back, tapping the scroll, landing upon the malachite. The poison begins to drift away as the storm is heading in, as the lightning sphere held over her shoulders begins to lower. And we're going to take a break now and come back in just 10:25 work for you guys? A bit of a longer break since we had to wait. Does that sound good for you guys?
Gucci.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll come back at 10:25. So as you take a moment, gather yourselves, and begin moving to address this new figure that's landed. You see up close now this female figure, green, blue skin, tall with 4 black wings, in this ancient, strange scaled armor. The javelin that's sparking with lightning energy solidifies into this strange, jagged, galvanized spear. She looks towards the poison clouds and waves her hands. Winds quickly gust towards the area, blowing the poison back as you step forth. As you gather, you hear a voice in your heads, though she doesn't open her mouth. Why do you bring them? The forsaken ones, the betrayers, the heretics, beyond their prison. She looks across all of your faces.
I will first say, can you understand us when we speak like this? Out loud?
She opens her mouth this time. Yes, now answer my question. Yes. The thunder behind her rumbles as she speaks.
We did not want to bring them here. We are...
And yet you did anyway.
They were holding us prisoner. In our escape, some of them followed. We must return to Nymenet to warn the leaders of the temples there of what the enemies of the gods are planning.
Make a persuasion check. At disadvantage because of your exhaustions.
Yeah. That's a 14.
The galvanized stone spear taps on the stone as she takes a step towards you and leans down a little bit, looking you in the eye, and you can see behind the eyes of her, you can see swirling storm, angry energy pent up. I care little for your concerns, only for my purpose. You have brought me here. You have brought enemies to these lands.
And we have killed those enemies.
Are you worthy to hold that symbol? She gestures towards the holy symbol you're holding up. By what right are you here? Whose sails did you move along? Besides the storm, Volta, marry yourself, and yet you bring her enemies to her.
It wasn't
mortals.
On purpose. Had no choice, or we all would have died. We hadn't.
Then pay with your life. Storm, take you. And she begins to walk past you towards the edge where that last Umbach fell off, and his head over heels fell down, and then began to change trajectory towards that large, crackling sphere of red lightning in the distance. She stands on that edge, and she steps off the edge and begins flying after the Umbach, disappearing into the astral sea. You look around you, seeing your wounded selves, seeing what's left of your stuff scattered all around on the top of this pillar, as the storm is heading in your direction, moving towards you. You see a new figure, a tanned elf. And George, if you want to go ahead and describe your character fully.
Yes. You see Elf. Those of you that are familiar with him, he looks fairly young for an elf. He has dark tan skin. His black hair is pulled up into a very severe top knot that is held together by what looks like two very thin brushes stuck in like chopsticks. He wears scale armor with this kind of flowy robe over it. There are numerous belts with scrolls kind of slipped in them, almost like those belts with like shotgun shells across his chest. There is another brush and a pot of ink at his hip, along with various other pouches with tools sticking out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Well, you all look like shit.
I go start trying to gather up my stuff.
I'm gonna walk over to Vesper. Might be a little bit easier with these off, and I will take out my thieves' tools and try and undo her manacles.
Okay, go ahead and make a check.
That's dexterity based?
Yes.
Great. So we'll just type that button. That is 16.
Yeah, as the manacles fall off, freeing Vesper your hands.
I'll rub my wrist. Thanks for that. My name's Vesper. You are?
Felix.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thanks
I'm sure
for
it is.
all of that.
Right, well, I hope you're worth it. It hasn't exactly been a pleasure hanging around here waiting for you all to show up.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm happy to explain further. Right now, it really appears that storm is on its way here, and we have no cover. So, why don't you all gather whatever strength you have left, and can we move, please?
Yeah, I still want to find my backpack, as much of my shit as possible, and I especially want to go to the Wight and get my holy symbol back. So if everyone else is moving, I will catch up to them, but I'm getting my shit.
So you the big stuff like that is pretty easy to gather. Coins are scattered everywhere. You have no idea how much fell off the edge, but the rest of the stuff that were in the bags is scattered everywhere. If anyone wanted to grab stuff in particular, you can do so. You have a little bit of time.
I'm going to pick up my Ring of Three Wishes.
Do I know of a place nearby where I have been taking shelter the last couple days?
Yeah, so those floating stones lead down to subsequently lowered altitude pillars. And the malachite pillars are tall and long but narrow. And those floating stones lead you down in elevation until you get to the base of which has an entrance. It's over here. So you guys can once you gather your big stuff, you can begin to follow Felix down those floating stones.
I'm actually, because most of them look exhausted, just going to go to the edge and wave them over.
Ellery doesn't give a shit about the coins right now, or really any of the other stuff that was in the bag, except for... I don't think this is listed here, but did we decide if Ezekiel had the crystal plant, or if that was in the bag of holding?
I think y'all put that in the bag of holding as far as I remember.
So that's the only thing that I think I would bother grabbing.
Okay. So you grab that, and so stop me unless someone's grabbing the coins.
No, I'm just following.
Okay.
Just mostly my stuff with him.
Felix will take a long, hard look at that crystal plant as you gather it up, but he won't say anything. All right, everyone ready to take a leap of faith? As he pulls another scroll out of his belt.
Wouldn't be the first fucking time.
How's that working out for you so far?
I just glare at him.
Let's go. And he will do like 1, 2, 3, and hop off, hoping that everyone jumps off with him.
Might as well.
I will do so.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will use my scroll of Featherfall as we go.
Okay. So you leap off, slowing your descent initially as you drift down and landing gently on the malachite ground at the base. Behind you, there is an entrance into the interior. There's also a rolling stone door on the interior that can be open and closed. It's currently open.
We can rest in here. I'm not certain we're alone in there, but it's better than being out in whatever storm that is.
I think I'm just going to drop against the wall.
As you guys step inside and get your bearings, it's a large open room. The floor and the walls and the ceiling are all made with malachite, this dark marbled-like deep green material, green rock. On one side there appears to be a staircase, where on that side as well there are two statues of lions with wings, eagle's wings, and faces, humanoid faces with feline features pointed to each other, with a staircase in the center. On the other side of the room is a brazier of stone and malachite as well.
As we come in here, I'm just kind of looking at each of my friends, and then it just kind of going down the list, looking at each of them again, just kind of scanning over them, but otherwise looking kind of blank.
I don't think anyone's acknowledged that Ezekiel's not with us. So Ball's going to look to the party and say, "Did Ezekiel not make it?"
I'm just silent.
I didn't see him at all. Later, I can try and cast a message to him. I can see if he's alright, if he needs our help, where he's hid himself. He's got a plan. I just can't do anything right now.
Ball just takes a deep breath. Sighs.
He didn't get close to us. We didn't see him. I was unconscious when we left. Did he make it to us at all? Tell us to go? Where was he?
He told us to go without him if he couldn't get to us in time.
Vesper's just gonna put her head in her hands and just face between her knees and just kind of curl up against the wall.
Well, we all know Ezekiel is awfully good at taking care of himself. Check in when you have the chance, and just hope for the best. And I guess Amson will just walk over to Vesper and crouch down and place his arm around her.
I'll lean into Amson.
Sorry, what was your name? I didn't catch it. Looking at Felix.
Felix.
Amson Arms Blossom. That's Ball, Ellery, Melly, Vesper.
No, Calvin.
I look up
this
at that.
This gets Ellery's attention.
I've been following your exploits for a little while.
How?
Well, it was more just following information. I was looking for Acesis, trying to find his children, but as it turns out, he didn't seem to have any, and then when I was in town and I heard of all of you, I figured, well, might as well give it a shot.
Why were you looking for Acesis?
Because the world is ending, and the children of the Bronze Dragon are somehow tied to that. I'm hoping you're it.
I look down and touch the bronze scale badge that's on my cloak.
Amson will flip over his coat and reveal his on his armor.
And I'll touch the grimy, scraped up one on my shoulder.
More of this fucking destiny?
Destiny's tricky. Suffice to say, several crazed madmen throughout history have prophesied a certain group related to a bronze dragon, and while I'm not entirely sure what you're supposed to do or how you're tied up in all of this, possibly you. I've been wrong before, and quite frankly, after your entrance and the state you're in, I'm not entirely convinced that you're it either.
Neither am I.
Oh, we did name ourselves after Acesis. He was very near and dear to our hearts.
One thing that may help, did you recently lose some wings?
What do you mean?
When the children of the bronze dragon lose their wings, all shall be lost in the sea of dreams, unless the knowledge of the ancients comes to the Eye of Merv. That is why I'm here. So, wings? Any of yours been clipped?
Ellery just starts crying at this point.
Well, if we lost our angel, yeah, probably.
Well, that's a good sign.
Fuck you.
Whatever is closest to me, if there's a rock, if there's something in my pocket, I'm gonna hurl it at him.
I'll just kind of flinch and, okay. Obviously, you all are in a bit of an emotional state. I guess I could understand that. My apologies if you were fond of this person. I haven't heard much about him.
His name is Ezekiel, and he was our friend.
He is
Yes,
our friend.
we're fond of him.
Well, we're in no state to go anywhere, and our mind is a little bit foggy right now, but I'm a storyteller. I can tell you all that you'd like to know about Arceus, Ezekiel, and anything else.
Good. That'll help clear a few things up. Now, do any of you have a way to leave this place?
We're just lucky enough to get here. No.
Unfortunate. Well, as I said, I don't believe we're alone in these ruins. But I've managed to keep myself alive the last couple days. Unfortunately, my own exit decided to leave. And I simply had to wait for you, so we may need to figure something out.
In this moment, there's a sudden as a force slams into this pillar. Everything around you, the room, begins to quake and shake and vibrate. All around you and continues to do so.
Storm's here.
You all should probably sleep.
And what are you going to do?
Well, I was going to watch over you, something I typically have better things to do during my evenings, but I don't really sleep, so I can keep an eye out. We should at least start to make camp. You can ask me any questions that you wish. I'll answer if I like.
Do we want to take watches with him? I'm going to look at the other guys and not look at Felix.
I think I can speak for the entire party in saying that we all look at you completely exhausted, like we haven't slept in about 36 hours.
Or more.
Seems the people around here, and like as he says that, Paul kind of nonchalantly kind of flicks his holy symbol as well and says, they're quite good at watching. I'm sure it'll be a fine night. I'm going to sleep.
Stay ball.
He'd have to give a shit about us to want us dead, so let's just go to bed.
I do have one question. Do you know where we are?
We're in the Astral Plane, near the Eye of Merv. That big red lightning sphere we saw outside.
Oh.
As for these ruins, I haven't quite ascertained what they are yet. I suspect they are something very old.
DM, has Amson heard of the Eye of Merv?
You can make a religion check.
At disadvantage, because Amson's brain has one brain cell left. Oh, yeah. What's his religion? He's not great at religion. Okay, 9.
You've never heard of it?
And what's the Eye of Merv, if you don't mind me asking?
Mervella was the very first war goddess, displaced by Wolfrath. This is her corpse.
Right, I think sleep is much in order for all of us.
Great. I have my own meditation and some things to do. Aeon, and I will resummon that pink floating head. Keep an eye on things, will you?
With all due respect, what the fuck is that?
This is Aeon, an ancient intelligence of sorts. I found him long ago. He is part of the reason why I am aware of these prophecies. Aeon provides me with certain knowledge. I'm able to tap into it, though the process can be somewhat taxing. Though he has enabled me a few other abilities, and I will take the dagger that's at my belt and kind of slide it across to Vesper, we'll say. Do you pick it up?
Yes, of course. Good luck getting it back.
As you grab it, my mouth doesn't move, and you hear in your head, he provides me certain means of communication. And then I will flick my wrist, and my returning dagger will blink back to my hand.
Huh.
It's rather harmless. It's not technically alive. And he and I have bonded, so it'll keep an eye out. It sees fairly well in dark, better than I do, and will warn me should anything come up from the depths. Though if you have any other defenses, you may want to activate them.
I have absolutely
if you have no alarm spell.
Fucking nothing right now.
As you guys are considering, the storm is still rumbling around, but you do hear an additional scraping sound coming from deeper within the staircase. It's distant, echoing off walls, but it's there, distinct from the storm.
I kind of just look in its direction and just start those exhausted tears where you're like, not another fucking thing.
Look, I've been here for a couple days. I'll keep an eye out. Aeon as well.
Just before I go, I do still have the tiny hut, if we want to use it.
Can it hold all of us?
Technically, rules as written, it can't hold Ball, but it can hold a lot of people.
If it can't hold Ball, Ellery's not going in it.
How wide is the staircase?
It is 10 feet wide.
You could put it in front of it and block it.
So DM, would Ball be able to get inside of the tiny hut?
I'll say he'll be able to fit, but not with all of you.
Then Amson will offer to cast it in front of the doorway so nobody can get through.
Perfect, and since I clearly have not made friends yet, I can stay out and send Aeon above it to look down the hall, if that makes you feel better.
Amson, as you move towards the staircase to begin to place it, as you step towards it, there's a whoosh. As the eyes of those two statues, a green light sheds between them, hitting each other and forming this green wall. The closer you get, your vision begins to blur at the brightness of it, shedding this dim green light, except for when you get close to it, it seems to shimmer away your vision.
Well, that's strange. Have I heard or seen about one of these things before? Or can I infer what it does?
You haven't seen this energy before.
Could I possibly roll an Arcana check to infer what it may or may not do?
You can roll an Arcana, sure.
Okay. Disadvantage, because everything's disadvantage. But that's okay. That's a 13.
There's no arcane runes or glyphs or anything to read. It's just green energy. Certainly, the closer you get to it, it strangely seems brighter, not to anyone else, but it seems to blur your vision the closer you get to it. It affects vision somehow, but that's all you can really ascertain.
There's some weird thing here. Should I do it anyways?
Just don't get too close to it.
Alright. And I guess Amson will...
So it's a self spell, so you're going to have to go through the green light in order to get close enough to the staircase.
I mean, it's a 10-foot radius, so it goes 10 feet up in the air and 10 feet out in all directions.
Okay, you put it just on the edge as a sphere or as a half dome. It may not completely cover the stairwell if you don't go through the light.
I'll stand like right next to it, not completely through it, but like right at it, and then I'll cast it so that it should cover 90% of the.
As you get right next to it, when you get to that point, you can't see. Your eyes is green light. You can't see anything.
I don't need to cast. I don't need to see in order to cast this anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, you cast it.
And it is a Bard 3 spell, so I don't need to do anything. I just read the scroll and cast it.
So after Amson finishes this spell, do you pick a color?
Kind of like a dull purpley color.
Okay. Dull purpley colored dome stretches from Amson just to the edge of the staircase. It's not completely covered at the top, but it covers most of it. And Amson, as you step away from the light, your vision slowly returns over the next minute.
Alright, should be good.
And we'll probably be wrapping up here shortly, so if there's any final conversations or anything you guys wanted to have or do, go ahead and do so now and we'll wrap up.
I think I don't really say much else to anybody, but if other people are going to sleep, I am going to pick a spot against the wall, kind of near the entrance, as far away from everybody else as I can get, and curl up there to sleep.
Who has the crystal plant, by the way?
Ellery.
I do.
Can I see it on you as you're sleeping?
I don't think I bothered putting it away or anything. I probably just set it down.
Okay.
I just roll out my bedroll against the wall and just facing the wall, crawl into it and go to sleep.
Oh, Melly, Felix.
Ball passed out when he said he was going to go to sleep a while ago, so he's clunked out somewhere against the wall.
Felix is going to send Aeon through the whatever crack is there. I'll be in his eyes as I go through. Does he have the same blindness as he approaches the wall?
He does.
Can he pass through it?
He can. Do you will him to do so?
Yes.
As he passes through, the vision goes completely green, just green light. He can't see anything else, but is able to pass through it.
I'll leave him on the other side for a bit, see if his vision clears up.
Waiting a minute or two, it doesn't return.
All right, I'll pull him back through and just leave him on this side to keep an eye out.
Okay. Ball is clunked out. Anything for you, Melly?
Did Felix explain where he got that prophecy from?
Not fully, but if you want to ask.
I do. So Melly will kind of, once everyone's gone to sleep, she'll stare at him when he's doing the little head moving thing. And then when it looks like he's come back, I will just ask, how exactly did you know we were coming? What is that prophecy from?
To be honest, I don't know entirely where it came from originally, who thought of it, and probably either some madman from ages past or some dark, unknowable creature from before any kind of humanity. Aeon gathers knowledge. I'm not entirely sure exactly how it works, but he's been absorbing it throughout time. I am able to tap into certain aspects of it. After some time with him, I noticed some happen to be predictions of the future. Actually, a few of them, I found a little too late, referred to an almost apocalypse that happened half a century ago. Dragons in Whiteguard, of course. But this one seems different. And apparently has something to do with all of you.
How do you know that you can trust Aeon? Because I've met a cursed skull before that wanted to sort of tear apart Astral Plane or something, and I feel like him telling you the prophecies may be trying to gain your trust to then mess you up later.
You misunderstand. Aeon is not alive. It's not anything. It is simply a manifestation of knowledge. In fact, when I first met him, it wasn't even a head. It didn't look like that at all. It was somewhat terrifying, to be perfectly honest, abstract and vague. But we've been together about 50 years, so I think I have a pretty good handle on what it needs. And it has no desires at all. It simply is the knowledge.
Are you bonded to it then? Can it bond with other people?
Presumably, but I anticipate one can only do that at its origin point, which is far from here, deep underground in a ruin. I did some archaeology in my youth, and that was where I discovered it. I'm not sure if it's capable of manifesting in more than one place. All I know is that he and I are irrevocably linked now.
Where was the ruin?
I don't know that we got that far, so...
Sorry.
That's really not...
It's more Melu's curiosity. It's just like, ooh, he knows knowledge, cool. So it doesn't talk to you or anything then?
Can speak, but most of what comes through it is knowledge, not... There's no personality involved. There's no independent thought. It has no wills, no desires, at least that I've noticed in the past 5 decades. So, of course, I was cautious at first with diving into it. And even now, if I try to pull too much from it, or specifically the knowledge of the future, prophecy tends to drive people mad, and I'm at risk myself. So I feel pretty confident in the knowledge I am able to pull through it, but trust me when I say it is itself has no desire. It simply is.
One last question before I go to bed. Why exactly did you pursue this prophecy? Why us instead of any of the other ones? Or do you pursue all of the ones that he tells you?
There are others, and future is imprecise. There are contradictions even among prophecy. But this, and this black star, whatever it is, even those that created Aeon, the ancient beings, whatever they were, when they foresaw this, knew how wrong it was. And best I can tell, it's the fastest coming apocalypse, and I happen to like being alive. So if you and your friends are, sadly, humanity's best hope for survival, then here I am.
Well, that's nice.
Not to mention the prophecy itself. The knowledge of the ancients must come to the Eye of Merv, or all will be lost in the Sea of Dreams. That would be Aeon. I don't know why, but you need me. So I'm here.
Well, it sounds more like we need Aeon than you.
And if you would like to open your mind to the intricacies of an alien life form, knowledge ancient, and hopefully can understand deep speech well enough to actively understand it, then please, by all means, try.
I think if you gave me a few days, I could learn enough deep speech to try. But I'm tired, so I'm going to go to bed.
Great.
Good night.
Yeah.
So with that, as you each curl up to lick your wounds, sleep, recover, to see what lies next on your road, and this talk of prophecies and omens and destiny, that's where we'll pick up next week. We'll see what happens then.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. Download the app and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or our Tumblr website. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.